Hello, welcome. I'm Anthony, and we're going to do something a little off the beaten path today. Mid-January, I tore apart a old Digital Equipment Corp or DEC PDP system. This system was a piece of history, and sadly, I tore into it. As soon as that video went live, I started getting emails and comments and dislikes on that video. But one email from a concerned viewer helped me realize that there's actually a community out there that's interested in these. He wanted it shipped to England. And those that are new to the channel, I'm here in the United States. So it has to be packaged in a way that it can survive that trip. We're gonna build a crate today. So this is a little bit of an update that the rest of that equipment, the rest of that DEC or DEC system is preserved. I'm not tearing anything else apart. Yay! If there's anybody out there who wants any pieces of that, please contact me in my email. But the pieces that have to go, need to go in a crate. We're gonna build that crate right now. The thing that we definitely need to make sure is that the distance between the inside edge of one side and the inside edge of the opposite side needs to be about 20 inches. If I go flush here and flush here, that is 20 inches and 3/4. So that should be just about enough. I might be wrong on that standard, but it looks okay to me.
Psst. Have you subscribed yet? Hey, please subscribe.
So with this middle one, you can guess, or you can trace it. Trace it where you want it, and do your best to guess that that's where it's at. You can measure as well, but we're not going to measure here. Let's go ahead and trace this one in place. We're going to hope for right here. So a nail there, and a nail there. All right. So let's go ahead and put the back underneath, about there. We got them. There we go. This one probably should have gone that way about an inch, but the forks should still fit in here. I don't know, 8 inches? We'll have to look that up. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to attach our 2x2s to this edge all along the bottom, except the corners we want to be able to stand them up. So let's mark where we want our standing 2x2s to go. We cannot violate that space. That space is going to be so special. And you'll see why when we go and add these verticals. Okay, so now we got that. One thing I learned early on is what side of the line you want to cut. So this is the side we want to keep, and we want this to be 21 inches, right? So that means if I lose seeing this line, then I am risking taking some of my 21 inches away. So what I want to do is I want to line up the blade to be on the right hand side of my line if I'm going to cut with my good piece on the left. If I were to switch this around, then I'd have to do it the other side. So you want to pull it so that way the blade is going to cut the right hand side and just barely take some of that line, okay? So that is about right there. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's a very slight amount of my little pencil marking right here. So that means that if I measure this, you can see it's pretty darn close to 21 inches, which is exactly what we wanted. So you'll need a cut so you don't lose your line. Not entirely. And that is flush at 21 inches. We want to try to get this down into the 2x4s of the feet if we can, because then that'll give it more structure and more support. Just going through the OSB layer, that's not really going to do a whole lot for us in the long run. It can still peel up, it can wobble. We want as much wood to be consumed here. So let's go ahead and grab our long screws. All right. So these guys have their own driving bit. It's a little torque head. Now these guys are really long, and it might be a little bit of overkill, but where I can and where I'm going to end up going through the OSB into the 2x4, I want these nice longer screws. So I'm planning just to do 3 on this edge and 3 on the other edge. And as the on this long side we don't have any 2x4s to bite into, we're going to come from the other direction with some shorter screws. Very nice. Oh, there's a nasty knot right there. Let's turn it that way, so we don't have to go through it. It won't trouble us on this side. Now, technically I could drill all 3 holes now, but I always find it easier to line up my shot, put in the first screw to stabilize things, and then the only thing I've got to worry after that is a little bit of pivot on that one axis. So I like to drop that one first screw before I make all the rest of the holes that I want to make. It makes my my life a little bit easier when it comes time to put in all the rest of the holes. So, I might be wrong on that. Maybe that shows what kind of an engineer I am. Maybe too cautious, I don't know. But I find I make less mistakes this way. It does make for changing the bit quite a bit though. 2 drills would be nice, but I don't have that kind of money to have 2 drills. Try not to go through the knot. Nope. Let me have it. Here we go. I really love these like they're decking screws. I really love them. They do go in really easy. It's like butter. Makes my my life a lot easier. Okay, let's go ahead and flip it over. What we're looking at is we now need to drop the screws this direction to catch. We're gonna have to use shorter screws. We also have to cut our board first. But what we're looking at is we're gonna need to come this direction and go through. Because the screws are gonna hold okay on this side, but go in the other direction, it's not gonna be so pretty. So we're gonna have to come from the bottom to get this plate on. Let's go ahead and cut these. Make sure they're the right length. You can clamp it, but then the clamps are going to be on the ground, but I think it'll be okay. If we hold it right where we want it, when we flip it over, it'll be okay. So that puts it right where we want it. When we flip this over, the clamps will be on the ground, but if we don't wiggle it too much, I think it should just be fine for us to drop a few screws right here. Just realized I'm off camera, so let's readjust. Put ourselves back in frame here. Should be able to take these clamps off. And look at that. It's on there really well. And it gave us that corner to be able to do our legs when it's time. Nice. So that's great, because now we'll be able to screw in the side panel OSB to this plate right here. This, I don't know what you call it, a bottom plate, I guess. But we'll be able to put screws in here when we put the side OSB up. Now let's go ahead and make our posts as we work our way up. Pretty good. Pretty good. I am going to post one through here, and if I can dodge that screw, I'm going to put one through here and then one through the bottom. So that's a little bit of a tricky thing, and you run the risk of splitting your wood. Another way to do it is to do a pocket, or like a 30-degree or a 25-degree cut, but I don't have the tool to do the pocket screw holes. That is something that I'd love someday, but I don't have it today. So I can make an attempt to do it freehand, but I believe when the screws are in the 3 directions I plan on going, and then the OSB is screwed into everything else, it'll shore it up. So we're gonna go ahead and do it this way. 1, 2, and then the third one up from the bottom. We're gonna get all 4 corners in, and then we're gonna move on. I don't want to split this wood, so I got to be very careful not to go too fast. If I hear it cracking, I got to stop. Okay, so that's in on these 2 corners, but it won't really be secure until I get that third one in the bottom, and then I've started putting the screws in with the OSB on the wall. I don't know how I feel about this. We're gonna keep moving before I change my mind again. I want to make sure I'm not gonna overlap those screws that I've already got in. Okay. All right, so now we have that in, and it's actually pretty secure, and it will get better as we put more screws in, which I've said like 30 times, so let's move on. So next, we have the choice of doing this top bar, or we can do the OSB cuts and start mounting that, and then do the top bar last. Hovering wood is always a little bit challenging because you have to hold it in place on both sides as you're securing it. I think doing the OSB at this point is going to be our next best bet. And it's not going to ruin anything if we do that first. So let's go ahead and do our OSB next. So the plan is we need to cut an OSB panel to fit on all 4 of these sides. So let's go to that point. Okay, so item 1, steal the sheep. Put in the screws. There we go. You know, I honestly think that this is going to be strong enough to set it up. Let's go ahead and try it. Not sure what I just broke, but I'm hoping it's the drill bit. Because I'm guessing I just snapped the screw. Ha! Yep, that was the screw. Well, let's put in a second one. That's what's called shear. Screws can shear where nails cannot. I'm sure there are some exceptions out there, but the reason why you build homes with nails is because they do not shear where screws can. You get too much lateral pressure against the screw head and it'll snap off, which we just did. So that is shear. So now we just have the two long sides to build out. Again, we want to measure from the bottom because that's the part that can't move, and that is 28 3/4, and the top can flex. So we're not going to measure the top. The top is pretty useless. 28 3/4 on one side, 28 3/4 on the other side. Pretty exact. All right. So let's go ahead and make our cut. 28 3/4, and the height should still be 22 1/4. So 28 3/4, 22 1/4. Let's not mess that up. Let's write that down. All right, so let's not mess that up. Let's write that down. All right, dear Santa. Wait, no. 22 1/4. Yeah, there we go. 28 3/4. Okay, got it. All right, so we're gonna start with the 1x2s on the inside, and we don't need it to be terribly perfect, but we do want it to be as close to snug as we can, and close to snug is going to be 21 inches on this side, and about 21 on the other side. So we need two that are 21 inch long, and then we need 24 3/4, and about 25. So that means that we're not perfectly square, but we're going to be close. I got a bunch of these drywall screws that are going to be a little too long. So I don't want to do that to the person who's going to open this up and find a jaw with teeth gaping up at them. So let me see if I've got some shorter screws. I don't have any screws shorter. We're going to stick with the drywall screws, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these drywall screws and we're going to go at an angle. So the way we're going to accomplish this is as follows. If you go at an angle, you won't go all the way through. So I'm gonna have to try to put them in at an angle the best I can. Well, let's check out how the top fits on that. I'm sitting on it. It's going nowhere. Tempt fate and stand on it and jump or do a dance or something, but nah, I'd rather not. So, not bad. Not bad at all. There you go. I think it's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this down when it's time. I don't want to put the holes in this yet until it's filled and I'm ready to seal it. But then what I'll do is I'll put screws down around the perimeter, down into these 1x2s and these 2x2 posts. The outside of this box, for the purpose of shipping, is about 29 inches in one direction, 25 inches in another, and the total height is about 26 to 26 and a half. So that's not bad. The inside volume will take 22 inches tall, 22 and a half by 26 and a quarter. So, and this is all in inches, so you got a lot of space in here. I don't have the total weight on this. I don't have a scale that I can effectively use for this, but I'm not the most, well, there you go. I'm not the most capable of bodybuilding, but I can easily lift this, so I would estimate that this is probably anywhere from 30 to 50 pounds. Your choice of materials will definitely change that. If you want to use heavier woods, if you want to use lighter boards, you take your pick. But yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with this video. I hope this was educational and informative. These crates really aren't that hard to make. It just takes a bit of time and you need a few tools to do it. If you've got any questions or comments or anything that you would have done differently, please post it. I'm interested to hear. I'm not a pro by any means. I'm not a carpenter. This project was fun, and I've learned that these boxes are actually more stable than I was expecting them to be, for the purpose of using them as storage bins. Maybe a few design changes here, and I can actually make some heavy-duty storage for my shed. So, but this one's going to go overseas. It's going to get a computer put into it here in a few days, and we're going to say goodbye to some of those PDP 8 stuff. So please like and subscribe. My channel recently has been taking a little bit of a dive with the YouTube algorithm, and I'd love a little bit of help with that. So subscribe, like this video, help me get my traffic back. That'd be super helpful. But I'll see you in the next video. Good night.